Eat, Pray, Blood. Oh, that was good. That was our first one.
We finally got someone to tweet us.
Michael, that's a shout out to Michael at I'm Only Here for FC.
Yeah.
On Twitter. So thank you, Michael. That was a little play on that book, Eat, Pray, Love. If you didn't know, I didn't read the book, but...
Oh, that's a book? I thought that was like a Bible thing.
It was a book. No, I think it's a book, and then they made a movie out of it with, like, Meryl Streep or something.
Of course.
But, I mean, she's great and everything.
It's classic Meryl.
But, I mean, we had a second runner-up, and I don't want to wait on this one. We got this one from Jared Kleber, and his was, I Like Beans.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to hold on to that because it is it's a reference to our last episode about our bean boy and bean girl.
Our sweet bean children.
Rest in bean heaven.
Bean heaven.
And, so that was a very close second, but Michael got it in first, so I had to give Michael the shout-out.
Yeah, you got it in first, and it's not exactly fair to give it to our boy Jared right off the bat, you know.
But it was a really good one.
I
like Beans.
So we appreciate that, J-Rod.
And I don't know if that's a reference to Beans from Even Stevens, but I like him too. He's good.
Was he here the other night when we found out that Beans from Even Stevens has acting classes for $40 a week?
Yeah,
not a session.
What's his real name again?
Is it just not Beans?
It might just be Beans on his gift certificate, birth certificate. His name's Stephen Anthony Lawrence. Stephen Anthony Lawrence gives out acting classes for what, $10 a week?
No, it was $40 a week.
Oh, okay. 40.
Which is still just like ridiculously. You think about that's not per session. That's for a whole
that's sad. Don't
week. What was his name again?
Stephen Anthony Lawrence.
Stephen Anthony Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
If you somehow find this, hit us up on Twitter, man. We're in LA. You can come through. You can do an episode with us. You could tell us some spooky deals.
To have Beans on this show.
Beans will pay you $60 to come on the show.
Okay, now you don't even know how to negotiate.
That's a week and a half.
That's got a good point.
For 1 hour. Right.
Well, let's say who we are again. Welcome to Camp Strange. I'm your counselor, Alex Tobin,
and I'm your other counselor, David Stokes.
And this is episode 3. Coming in hot. We really appreciate everybody who's still listening. It's really fun to do, and I think we're getting off to a good start. Hopefully, this will be better than the first two.
Yeah, I think we're getting a good momentum going. We haven't had to stop it yet and start over, and this is our first take, so that's a good sign.
It's a good sign.
That's a good sign.
But yeah, like we still say, I know we're gonna plug this till the day we die, probably. But if you could leave us a rating and a review and subscribe to it, that would be amazing because I think it just helps the podcast get seen more, and then more people can listen to it. So that would be amazing.
But, at the end of the day, reviews are a big thing for the podcast, and it helps us get more recognition. And I
have to feed these kids. These kids are getting skinny.
Yeah, these little bean kids, they're starting to turn normal color, and we got to afford these broad beans from England.
Yeah, ship them over here. I mean, as far as news goes, I have some exciting news.
Do we?
Not this week, but next week.
Yeah,
I'm going to Hollywood Horror Nights at Universal Studios.
I was looking into getting tickets for that. Is it not this weekend, but the next weekend?
Yeah, it's I'm going opening night.
See, I was going to join you, but I'm going to be out of town for another wedding.
Are you serious?
Yep.
I mean, that's the life of a 29-year-old, right? What are you, 28, 29?
28.
You're 28. That's the life of a 28-year-old. Everyone's getting married.
But, yeah, I get to go back to Idaho. I'm really excited. Shout out Go Vandals. Beautiful.
This one's in Idaho, not Oregon?
Yeah, this one's going to be in Idaho. I'm really excited for that, to get back to my old college town. And I haven't been there in, years. Yeah, it's going to be really fun.
Anyway, I'm going to Hollywood Horror Nights, and
Ooh, will Beetlejuice be there?
Beetlejuice will not be there. I think they got... this movie Trick or Treat. I think they got The Purge. They got Halloween, Michael Myers Halloween maze, and I think they released they have a monster maze with Dracula, Frankenstein. I don't know. They got a couple biggies there. Stranger Things is also having, which I think our intro song is based off of basically. So
you're gonna see a bunch of children.
No, it's maybe a Demogorgon or two.
You're right. When I heard you say that word, I was like, that can't be right. But yeah,
that's Demogorgon.
That's the Demogorgon.
So I'm really excited for that. I think it's going to be really good, really fun. And I'll definitely keep you guys updated on what I see there. Maybe I'll bring a camera.
I think you should take a selfie with every monster you see and post that on the Instagram.
That's a lot of monsters.
We just want more Tobin face. I don't even think there is a photo of us on.
Not yet.
No.
We should get one. Okay, I think that was a pretty good intro we got there. You guys are caught up on us. I guess it's time to get into some stories. This is what you came here for, right?
You want to lead us off again?
I would love to lead us off. And before I get into the story, like I said, this is Camp Strange, where we talk about, spooky, scary, paranormal, all that mysterious stuff. But at the core of it, I think that these are campfire stories, and not every campfire story is spooky, but some are genuinely terrifying.
Oh, fuck.
And mine is terrifying.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So
we both have to get up early. Don't make it so we can't sleep tonight.
Oh, this is going to create some deep-seated issues.
I don't have enough of those, I guess.
So this is about a man named John Edward Jones.
Okay.
And where he went, which was called Nutty Putty Cave.
Sounds hilarious. Can't wait to hear.
It's not as funny as you think.
Oh, I'm sure it's not. Nutty Putty Cave.
Nutty Putty Cave.
Okay.
So, on November 24th, 2009, John Edward Jones traveled to Stansbury Park, Utah, where he was from, to visit his family for Thanksgiving. So, just going home for Thanksgiving. Classic Blackout Wednesday right before at the bars.
Yeah,
it didn't really go as planned. Because while back home, John thought it would be a fun idea to go cave exploring with his family and friends, as he used to do back when he was just a young boy.
So you're talking about spelunking?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Actually, that is what they refer to it as. I call it cave exploring.
Okay. I guess you've never spelunked before.
I haven't.
No respect.
I mean, that alone is terrifying. If you guys don't know what spelunking is, it's actually just crawling into really small crevices in caves.
I've done that.
No way.
I'm a big guy. And I got kind of stuck once, but it was one of those things where my hands were at my hips and I was wiggling through the ground.
I think you and John have something in common, because his father would take him and his brother down in the dark depths of the many Utah cave systems to go exploring and spelunking, which is where he fell in love with the sport, if you could call it a sport.
Yeah. I think you can call it a sport because
I call it a nightmare.
I think it's still kind of like a form of rock climbing. You have to be you have to be somewhat physically
there's strategy involved. You have to be nimble. You have to
exactly.
It's
you can't just roll up there 5'5", 300 pounds. Be like, I'm gonna crawl through that hole.
I guess you got to be fit.
I mean, yeah, but you have to. I think you have to have some strength to physically move that way. And
bowling's a sport.
It is.
I've seen some of those guys. They're 5'5", 300 pounds.
If it's a competition, you call it a sport.
Okay, so they all decided to go to a cave called Nutty Putty Cave, which was just 55 miles outside of Salt Lake City. So pretty close to civilization, not too far out. But the name Nutty Putty actually comes from the soft brown clay that lines the entire cave system. So around 8 p.m. on November 24th, just a few days before Thanksgiving, John, along with 10 other family and friends, ventured into the dark cave, their headlamps lighting the mysterious path that lay before them. So they're just going spelunking with the family and the friends. Seems like a good time.
Sexy family fun.
I just don't know what families is totally into that, but hey, to each his own.
I know it's not mine.
So when they first entered the cave, they began to explore a large part of the cave known as the Big Slide, but soon after, John, his brother Josh, and 2 other friends branched off to go exploring a more challenging section of the cave called the Birth Canal. I think that's probably the best way to describe spelunking.
Who is naming this place?
I don't know. He's going to Muddy Putty.
There's this is going to look great on T-shirts.
Yeah. It's not brandable. You can't wear Birth Canal. I survived the Birth Canal on your shirt.
Yeah, we all did.
Yeah. So when they arrived to the section, John found a waist-high hole to explore. That's funny to say. Right?
A waist-high hole?
A waist-high hole?
Oh, what a waist-high hole. Sounds like a hillbilly song.
Found my girl in a waist-high hole, and I brought her back home, and I eat them both. There's some stuff there. I'll stop there. I don't know where my mind's going.
You keep going, someone's going to steal that song and make millions,
That's true.
You can't put all the talent out there for free.
Shirt.
Yeah.
But when he found the waist-high hole, he climbed a few feet in and realized that there wasn't enough room to turn around. His body was stuck head first in this hole.
Yep.
So he thought it would be a smart idea to climb deeper and find a bigger section where he could maneuver his body back around to get out. He eventually found a fissure, which is a long, narrow opening or line of breakage made by a cracking or splitting of earth or rock. And when he looked down, it looked like it dropped straight down and widened at the bottom. So he's like, okay, yeah, I could definitely climb into this hole, shimmy myself around. Like, I mean, I don't think that you could ever like turn yourself around when you're in those holes. It's like,
oh no.
It's terrifyingly small.
Yeah,
they're like 20 inches across sometimes.
Well, from my I've got really broad shoulders. I know from my experience, like it was, I maybe had like 2 or 3 inches on each side of my shoulders.
It's so terrifying.
Yeah, it'd be impossible to turn around. It's to the point that like you have to have your head like turned sideways and then like tilted up because you can't lift your head up.
And let me put it this way. John was 6 feet tall, 200 pounds.
Yeah.
He's a big guy. So, I mean, it's such a weird sport to when you're that big. I get it if you're like a small guy or small girl. But so he looked down and he thought that he could turn around at the widened out bottom. So John then sucked in his chest and squeezed his way over a lip of rock and through the 10-inch fissure. But when John expanded his chest again, he realized he was stuck.
Yep.
Which is a terrifying thing to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably happens quite a bit if you're in that sport. But John believed the hole to widen, but once he was there, he realized it actually grew smaller to about 8.5 inches and almost closed.
Ooh.
Struggling to free himself only made him slide deeper into the fissure with one arm pinned beneath his body and the other forced behind him by the cave wall. Just to make matters worse, his headlamp was also knocked off.
Oh, perfect.
So he's head first in this hole, which is down. So his legs are above his feet.
Yeah.
I mean, his feet are above his head. That did not make sense. And he's just head first in this dark hole with 8.5 inches of room to spare.
Yeah. I mean, that it doesn't matter who you are. At some point, you're going to start losing your fucking shit. You're going to lose your mind.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
So when Josh heard that his brother was stuck, he made his way into the waist-high hole, and after getting stuck himself trying to retrieve John in the section known as the corkscrew, he turned around and he was like, I can't, I have to go get somebody. Like, there's no way of getting him out by myself. I mean, especially if what's worse than one brother stuck in a hole?
I know this too.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
You catch on.
Yeah.
So he was like, you know what? I got to get out. My brother's in real trouble. So Josh left, but he left his buddy there to stay with John, so he had somebody to talk to. He went and he got some emergency personnel, and after Josh got them, he came back and he took his friend's place, and just to like calm Josh down inside the hole, he was there. They were Mormon, so they were like,
oh, okay.
I mean, it's Utah, so it makes more sense. So to calm him down, they prayed and talked about John's plans for the future, which is never a good thing to hear when you're like stuck in like a hole, like you might die.
I can think of way worse things. Like, so what color flowers do you want at the service?
No, I just mean like it's a horrible thing to hear. It's like, so what are you gonna do when you get out of this hole? Like, you know that
I'm going to Taco Bell.
It's it's never like he's trying to like build you up a little bit. Like, oh my god, you're so gonna get out of this. So
I just think it's funny. It's like if I was stuck in a hole, I would rather that my brother stayed with me and not like his friend that I might not even fucking like.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, why don't you let the friend go get somebody? Stay with the brother. The friend's just like, hey, so your brother left. I'm here.
Yeah.
Can I borrow your Xbox?
Yeah.
Like,
if you die, I can have your Xbox.
It's so bad. But it's never a good sign for you to be like, it's like almost patronizing. You'd be like, oh my god, when we get out of here, we're so gonna go to Sonic.
Yeah.
We're gonna go get some Blizzards, and he's like, yeah, man, we can get some Blizzards.
But yeah.
Oh.
Come on, man.
I'm sorry.
Get your shit together.
So 3 hours after John had gotten stuck, the rescue teams arrived, but it took them 30 minutes to get deep enough into the tunnel where he was stuck.
Yeah.
And rescue team member Susie Matola reached John and greeted him with, "Hi, John. My name's Susie. How's it going?" John replied with a distant yell, and he said, "Hi, Susie. Thanks for coming. But I really, really want to get out." And it's kind of like that's actually really sad to me because the really, really is like you've been in those situations where you Like, I really, really need to go home. And like,
you're like, yeah, you're trying to be polite, and they're just like,
it's like you could tell how much he's freaking out just by the way he said really, really.
Yeah.
But she replied with, "Oh, no worries, Drawn. No worries, Drawn. I am here to save you." She's, "No worries, John. We're gonna get you out of here, lickety split." So it sounds fun. She sounds confident, casual.
It's a good bedside manner, lickety split.
I would trust Susie with my life, honestly, at that point. But as she assessed the situation, she knew that it was not going to be easy as easy as she thought.
Yeah, I feel like knowing the idea, like the topic of what we talk about, that he's not going to get out there lickety split. Things aren't going to be okay.
Well, we'll see.
Okay.
They had a trauma physician, Doug Murdoch, on scene. And
it's a sick name.
Doug Murdoch?
Yeah.
It is kind of cool, actually.
Dr. Murdoch? Is he considered a doctor?
He's a trauma physician. Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, trauma, yeah, I don't think you could be a physician in trauma and not be a doctor.
Yeah, Doc Murdoch.
It's the worst kind of medical ailment, I would say, maybe.
Yeah.
But when he was told that John was upside down, he knew that it was an extremely dangerous situation because apparently the human body is meant to function in an upright position.
Oh, yeah.
Did you not know that?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So this meant that when John was upside down, his body was working extra hard to try to pump all the blood out of his brain. And the body parts start to fail when this happens.
Yeah.
So he's just pulling blood in his brain, and it's just trying to, like, it's really, I didn't even think about that. I was like,
yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. You know when you're upside down for like a minute and your
hours
face gets all
end.
red?
Yeah.
It's like hours on end. No, a couple of minutes.
A rough childhood.
So Murdoch rushed to the scene knowing that the blood and the fluid were beginning to pool in John's brain and lungs. His circulation would start slowing and capillaries leaking. And also toxins building up in his blood. So like I did not know that being upside down for this long is this detrimental to your health.
Yeah.
I mean,
it makes sense, but like I didn't realize toxins would get released.
Yeah, it's so weird. So if another weird thing is that if they were to get to him and they were to immediately pull him out of the hole, the toxins in his blood could rush to his heart and kill him.
So would they have to like gradually like
kind of like the bends
turn him like
I honestly think so.
Is it kind of like when you've been freezing, you can't just like jump in a hot tub? Or else,
yeah,
it's
a
like
gradual, or like when you go deep enough into the water, you have to slowly come up to let the nitrogen release through your blood.
Like your lungs burst or something.
No, you
like
get
that.
the bends, which is
the bend. Oh, that's right.
You get nitrogen bubbles in your blood, and it really, really hurts. And it can kill you if it goes to your heart.
Yeah, a lot of people die from that.
Yeah,
well, not a lot, but there's been
a couple cases. So, with there not being many studies of long-term effects of being upside down, Murdoch thought John would only have 8 to 10 hours to live. So, I mean, this didn't look good. So, the first thing they tried was to tie a rope to John's legs and to try to pull him out. But the rope's friction on the rock, basically, like, they're just dragging a rope against a rock, so it like frayed and broke. And
it's a good way to rip a rope.
Yeah, and plus he was at like we'll post the picture online of like the diagram because I found a diagram of how he actually was in this situation, like this cave.
Yeah,
because it's really hard to picture. So if you go to our Instagram, you could actually see this picture.
Would it be something like those old plastic like the ant farms you could keep where you'd see all the tunnels and stuff? So it'd be kind of like. Yeah, you can kind of compare it like it went down gradually and then it like just dropped down.
It's a side view.
Yeah,
and if they showed that if they pulled on the rope, they would literally just be like pulling his foot to the left, but he needed to go up first, so he needed like leverage.
Yeah.
So they tried to do that, and it didn't work at all. No progress. And since John was so far down. They like down in that hole. They couldn't use big equipment like industrial equipment to get to him because.
Well, another thing about that is that if you start drilling, there's a big possibility of collapsing.
Yeah.
So you really can't dig or take a jackhammer or anything like that because the whole thing could come down.
It's so narrow in there.
Yeah.
It would only take a little bit to collapse it. So what they ended up plus I mean, to get those machines that deep into the cave, I don't even think there was enough room to
probably
get
not.
those in there. So what they ended up having to do is they started widening parts of the narrow tunnel with small tools. They use like hammers and ball peen hammers and chisels. Exactly, chisels. And that just wasn't working fast enough. They're like, we need to get him out. He's really far down there. So what they decided to do was make a pulley system out of climbing cams, but each trip into the tunnel to construct a piece of equipment took nearly an hour. So they were hooking up these pulley systems to the, like, screwing them into the rocks and stuff like that. Yeah,
it's like what you use when you're rock climbing. You put them in. It's like kind of what you put your carabiner in.
Yeah,
right?
And apparently they had rescued a child almost from, like, the same area that he was trapped in. The kid was only stuck in a little bit further, like he was only 8 feet in, but they used the pulley system to get another child out. So, like, this works, but nobody's been stuck this far down, upside down.
My question is this a route that has been traveled, or were they, like, in a spot that hadn't been surveyed? Like, no, have people gone through this hole that he's stuck in and, like, gone through? Or is this like, hey, I don't know, let's just see what happens, and you're stuck?
There have been children, mainly children, that have been stuck in this area. So children are much smaller than 6 feet, 200 pounds.
Yeah, as someone who's over 6 foot and 200 pounds, I'm probably not going to go somewhere where small children.
Except for Robin Williams' Jack, which is a good movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was a 6 foot, 200 pounds child.
Yeah,
but yeah. So
as am I.
When they rescued them, it was a lot less weight. They had way more wiggle room, and also they didn't go as deep. I have a section here that says, what does it say? There were nearly 8 to 10 other rescues in the same cave, including a young boy who got stuck where John was stuck, only 6 to 8 feet closer to the entrance. 2 other boys died in the cave, actually, near where John was stuck, and they actually closed the cave after those 2 boys died. And when John's family went there, it had only been reopened for 6 months. So there's a history of people getting stuck in this cave, because I think they just go like, it's a big spelunking cave.
Yeah, the old nutty chocolate cave.
Yeah, and it's understandable to think that this must be a safe cave, or they can rescue me if it's open to the public and it's a big tourist attraction.
Yeah.
You don't think I'm going to go in there and something really bad's going to happen to me. So, so I mean, there's that. But while they were getting him out with the pulley system, they tried to keep him calm by singing religious hymns, keeping conversation, and pouring large quantities of Mountain Dew into the tunnel. I made that last part up.
I was gonna say, because I don't think Mormons can drink Mountain Dew.
Oh, yeah, caffeine, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So as he talked back in conversation, they could hear his voice begin to actually get nasally, and his breathing labored, which means that fluid was beginning to slowly fill his lungs. When they finally got the pulley system working, they began to inch John out of the hole. But when his feet hit the low ceiling of the tunnel, he began to scream.
Oof. I don't like that.
Apparently, his heart was struggling to pump blood into his legs, which meant not only immense pain, but also they had the horrible realization, the rescue workers did, that there was no way to bend John back out of the hole without breaking his legs in the process. Because his bones are so weak, there's no blood, like,
you just gotta break them,
giving him nutrition. But the problem is, if they broke his legs,
blood clots.
No, his immune system, and he was so weak that the shock could, like, kill him instantly. So I mean, they were in, like, a horrible situation.
Yeah,
and also just to add, insult to injury, the pulleys began to slip from the walls as well, which kind of sealed his fate even further. So they were just. Nothing was really working. And after 24 hours, John was now having a difficult time breathing as 100 people worked tirelessly to try to free him out of the hole. There's 100 people working in that cave, basically, and near the cave.
I think I would have a hard time breathing after 10 minutes, not just 24 hours.
No, I've actually, like, just put my head off the edge of the bed and just see how my face gets, and I'm just like, holy shit, like, this guy's... And I just can't fathom the idea of being stuck like that.
24 hours. Woof.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
So, and, like, no light either.
Yeah.
Just, like, him and his thoughts.
Pure darkness.
Yeah. After 24 hours, he was having trouble breathing. And 27 hours later, John became unresponsive and was declared dead. Some say it was suffocation. Others say it was cardiac arrest. but they were never truly able to figure out the cause of death due to the fact that even after his death, the team was still unable to retrieve his body from the hole.
So he's still there.
They did mention a way to do it that would require heavy decomposition and then sectioning him into pieces, but that was too much for the family to handle, as well as it would create a more dangerous situation for the rescue workers.
Yeah.
So the family decided to leave John's body in the hole, and shortly after his death, the Nutty Putty Cave was closed up for good with a wall of cement. John's body still remains to this day inside the cave and behind the cement wall where no one may ever enter again.
Yo, suck it, King Tut. That's a way better grave.
It's so crazy to think that he's just
there.
They just left him there.
So with this cave, was there like an exit? Is there another entrance, or is it?
I think the cave had one big entrance and then a system of little, offshoots and stuff. But I don't think there's another entrance. I mean, but it also is apparently between John's death and them cementing up the hole. They had a police officer there 24/7 to make sure nobody went back into the cave, because that was like, I guess, the straw that broke the camel's back. There's like, we can't have any more people dying in here.
Yeah.
They treat it too casually, and it's so sad because I feel like you've been in those situations before where you've seen kids with like their heads stuck in chairs and people are like, oh, like, don't worry, we're going to get you out of here.
Hilarious.
And he probably thought for a good portion of the time, I'm going to get out of here.
Any second now, I'm out of here.
Like, how often do you find people that actually just get stuck somewhere and they cannot get them out?
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
I mean, like, that's like one situation where caves are like one of the main situations. It's like if you get stuck in one, like there's not much you can do because it's such a fragile system that if you try to break it open, it could collapse and be way worse.
I think the main problem here is that he was stuck upside down.
Yeah.
Because in all honesty, they could have, let's just say, put a feeding tube down there and kept him alive for weeks or months. I don't know like how his bathroom situation would work.
I don't know about months.
Well, I know I'm being hyperbolic, but at the same time, they could probably be able to keep him alive long enough to get him out in some weird way, as long as no.
Well, yeah, and I think just having a rope on your wrist compared to your ankle would be a big difference.
It's so scary.
Yeah, I wouldn't sign up for that.
And that is the story of John Edward Jones at Nutty Putty Cave.
Wow. And so, what year was that again?
That was 2009.
Oh wow.
So somewhat kind of recent.
Yeah.
Don't go spelunking. I think that's the moral of the story. That, I don't know. I'd rather jump out of a plane any day than go spelunking in a cave. I don't even want to go in a cave.
Caves are cool, man.
Does anything good happen in a cave?
Lots of fun things happen in a cave.
I don't know what caves you go to, but
like the cool caves.
No, there's no cool caves.
Actually, caves are actually really cool. They're really good temperatures. It's a real cool temperature. It's bats.
Don't get us started about bats again. That's how you get rabies.
Rabies. All right, so I guess that's my turn to start my story. All right, so today I want to talk about this little guy named Robert. And Robert's still alive, and he's 114 years old and lives in Key West, Florida. Yeah,
what?
He's 114 years old. And yeah,
he's a little guy?
He's just a little guy, and he lives in Key West, Florida. You might call Robert Jr. because he was once property of a Robert Eugene Otto.
Oh, okay, so he's named after his owner. What is he?
I said property, and that's because little Robert was one of my favorite objects in existence, and that would be a haunted doll.
Oh, haunted dolls are so fun.
Well, I'll fill you in on something. If you're ever looking for some cheap entertainment, go on eBay and search haunted dolls and just read the descriptions that people post because they're fucking hilarious.
You know what's weird? We could just buy a doll and claim it's haunted and write like a really good description, right? There's no vetting of that.
I'm pretty sure that's what 90% of them are, is like, I found this at Goodwill.
Just a creepy doll.
It's kind of creepy. I'm going to make up this whole backstory for it and sell it for 99 cents because that's typically
fun.
The asking price is.
I'd buy a haunted doll.
Shall we? We could get one and have it sit next to us when we podcast.
Oh, okay. Can you take it home?
Don't
leave it here.
Consider it in the mail.
I'm down.
All right.
He just has to have a good name. Or she.
Honestly, from my experience, I would say like 7 out of 10 haunted dolls are female dolls.
Okay. Yeah, I like the porcelain
but I guess that's because most dolls are...
Little girls want to play with little, girls.
Well, it's not just that, little boys can play with dolls. It's whatever these days, but most haunted dolls are from...
the 1930s.
Exactly, when back then it wasn't as normal for little boys to have
They had
dolls.
a stick.
Yeah, and they'd beat the neighbor's cat with it.
It's I didn't do it. The stick's haunted.
It's my cat stick.
I didn't hit the cat. The stick did it by itself. Haunted stick.
It's a haunted stick. So there's a few variations of the story when I was researching it, but they all have a common concept. So a boy, his name was Robert Jean Otto. His family was pretty wealthy, and they had some Haitian servants. So Jean's father had actually impregnated one of the helpers. And so once Mama Otto found out, she locked the helper in a outhouse.
Oh, no.
It's like a shed outhouse kind of thing. And
is it filled with poo?
Is it filled with poo?
Yeah.
When was the last time you went to an outhouse that wasn't full of poo?
Well, you said shed, so if you poop in a shed, does it become an outhouse?
I mean, I'm not talking this is a fucking honey bucket at a goddamn Dodgers game. But so when Mama Otto found out about it, she locked her up in the porta potty, and they would only feed her bread and water once a day. But so this abuse would lead to an unhealthy child, and the child would not survive after birth.
Oh, no.
So after the loss of her child, the helper was actually assigned to take care of the newborn baby, Robert Jean Otto.
Wow.
And so you'd think maybe so this bitch just locked me up and basically made me lose my kid, and now she wants me to take care of her infant child.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to drown this baby.
I'd football spike that thing.
Yeah, it'd be gone. Gronk spike.
I'd spin it on its head and dance around and put my hands like a fire. You know they do that in the end zone sometimes?
Yeah.
I'd do that with the baby.
You would pull a Sharpie out of your sock and sign the baby and throw it into a crowd.
Yeah, I'd go for a PAT and kick it right through some field goals.
But so instead of just spiking the baby, she eventually just loved the baby as if it was her own.
Oh, that's nice.
Which actually led her to even breastfeeding Jean.
Oh, is that possible?
Well, she just had a kid, so she was lactating. It was very recent.
Oh,
it was to the point that she was still producing breast milk, and so she would actually breastfeed them, not them, him, and the whole family would line up around dinner time.
Oh God, no.
So one night, Miss Otto caught the Haitian workers actually performing what she believed to be a voodoo ritual, and she claimed that they were cutting chicken heads off and stuff like that.
Classic voodoo stuff.
Yeah, And so the next morning, she woke up and just said, "All of you have to leave. We ain't down with that voodoo."
All the servants have to leave?
Yes,
they're happily.
Yeah,
bitch.
Exactly. So the woman who was taking care of the baby, she was, begging, pleading, no, I love this baby, don't make me leave. I already lost one baby. And the mother made her leave, but as a parting gift, she gave baby Jean this 3-foot doll that she made.
Oh.
And so she made this doll out of, whatever material she had, stuffed it full of hay, weird stuff like that. And so...
Full of breast milk.
Yes. She would breastfeed the doll as well. So Robert Jean Otto would become very attached to this doll that was given to him. And as he grew older, wherever he went, the doll would go. And one day, oddly enough...
Who named it? Her or him?
Who?
Robert.
The doll?
Yeah.
The doll had no name.
Oh, no name yet.
No name.
Okay.
And so there was no exact pinpoint in when this happened, but at one point, Robert, the boy, got in trouble. And the mother, as mothers did, would yell, Robert Jean Otto, how,
And with the full name.
Yeah, do the full name thing, parents did back then. I'm sure some do it now. And suddenly the child very abruptly and rudely corrected the mother, saying, "I'm Jean, that's Robert," and pointed to the doll.
Oh.
And said, "I'm no longer Robert, I'm Jean. When you talk to me, I'm Jean."
How old's this kid?
I couldn't find an exact thing. It was something. He was a young child.
Wow.
He was talking, so he's probably 7, 8.
He ain't taking shit.
But he just straight up was just like, no, I'm not Robert. Wow. The doll's Robert. I'm Gene now.
Wow, interesting.
So I have a great quote from Corey Convertito, I believe.
Who's that?
I believe that's how you pronounce it. So Corey is with an I. Corey with an I. Mm-hmm. That is who is actually the owner of Robert the doll as of right now.
Okay.
Or at least as of, I think, 3 years ago when the article I read was made. So who knows who has Robert now? But I believe it is
probably the same
Corey.
guy.
Yeah, I think it's a girl. I'm not sure.
Oh.
So the quote says, "What people really remember is that they would probably term as an unhealthy relationship with the doll, and that Otto," and another quotes, "brought it everywhere. He talked about it in the first person as if it wasn't a doll. He was Robert, as he was a living entity."
Oh, so he treated this doll like it was his friend, brother, or like another human being, like not a doll.
Like an extension of himself.
Ooh.
So yeah, Gene would carry the doll everywhere he went until the age of 19.
Yo, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
He'd carry this creepy little doll around everywhere he went until he was 19, when his family moved to Paris, France. And Robert's parents basically forced him to be like, hey, leave the doll here and, like, let's go to Paris.
Really? They want him just to leave it?
Yeah, and so they found a way to get him to leave the doll behind. And so Gene and his family moved to France, and that's where Gene met a girl. Gene fell in love. After he ditched his little counterpart, he found a way to become like a normal person. And I don't want to say you're not normal if you're carrying around a doll at 19, but
you ain't not normal.
Yeah. And so after a while, Gene and this girl, Anne, they got married. And as a wedding gift, his parents gifted them the old house in Florida.
Oh, so they still had the house.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they moved back to Florida to start, their family, their lives together. And as they were setting up the house, Gene opened up a box up in the attic to find
Robert,
none other but Robert. And immediately, once again, Robert and Gene were inseparable. And so here's this grown-ass married man walking up and down the streets going,
You thought a 19-year-old is bad. We got a grown man with a wife.
Yes.
And a doll.
And so he's carrying the doll all over the place.
Oh, God.
And so finally his wife was just like, no more. You cannot carry this doll. You need to stop. Hmm. And so he decided to leave the doll up in the attic to give it its own little, world up there. And so before I get too far ahead of myself with the doll's personality, let me paint a picture of what this fucking thing looks like. So the number one rule when it comes to haunted dolls is they can't be like remotely nice looking. You can't just be like, hey, that doll's in good shape.
They gotta be fucked up.
They gotta be pretty jacked up.
They gotta look like they got left in a junkyard and then like smashed on a brick wall for about half an hour.
And so no one ever says, hey, this haunted doll's okay looking. I'm like, hey, that's a cute doll. It's usually along the lines of like, holy shit, get that fucking thing away from me. Mm-hmm. Or you're disowned, stop spending my money on these dolls. That's what my dad says.
It has to have a big crack down the middle of its face.
Yeah.
It's a missing eye.
Yeah.
Or two eyes that just follow you around the room.
Or it could just be like an obviously replaced eye that's not an original eye. A human eye.
Inside of it.
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
So being the fact that Robert is 114 years old, he's pretty busted up right now. But, I don't want to think that even a freshly sewn up Robert was very attractive. Mm-mm. And so Robert has, he's a Caucasian, he's a white doll.
He's a white guy.
He's a white doll. He's got this unbelievable blonde flowing hair, which I still just don't understand what's going on with that.
Oh my God.
And he's got these piercing black beady eyes.
He sounds so handsome already.
Oh, he's a stud. he's got these piercing black beady eyes that are just like haunting. And he's got this strange little button nose and these just massive lips.
Oh.
He's got these just big old smoochers.
Good kisser?
Yeah.
Okay.
He likes to kiss in his spare time.
I guess we know why the 19-year-old carried him around for so long.
Oh, yeah. A little 3-foot buddy.
3-foot buddy.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he's got some big old lips and kind of a sharp chin. Weird looking chin.
Yeah.
And
I don't care what you say. I think he sounds handsome.
Well, don't get ahead of yourself because the entire face is just covered in what kind of looks like scars. Like it looks like he's been through hell and back.
Ooh.
And they're covered in scars. They're a bunch of like, black marks that are just like ripped in the thing, and it definitely adds to the creepy the factor. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure as yourself and all listeners are very curious on, what type of threads this little chap is rocking. And I'm sure what do you think this guy's wearing?
Overalls.
Overalls?
Mm-hmm.
That's a safe bet. Yeah, no, he's in a full head to toe little sailor's outfit.
Oh,
yeah, we got ourselves.
Okay, so he's employed. He's serving our nation. And I think you're kind of talking shit about him, dude. And I feel like he's done more than you will ever do. He's 114. He serves our nation. How dare you?
That's true.
How dare he's handsome.
He's handsome.
He has some scars to show that he's been through some shit.
They're more like handsome marks.
Okay.
Yes, and man marks.
So I think you need to treat Robert with a little respect, Well,
we'll get there. Okay. We'll talk about the respect we need to put on Robert's name.
You sound really bad because I haven't heard anything bad he's done yet. You say he's haunted. I don't hear anything bad. He's just chilling.
Well, okay. That's because I want to just get a good description. So when I start to get into the real shit, you're going to be like, oh, let me think about this little fucker. Okay. And you will be much more terrified of him. Little sailor boy. So it's also it's believed that the doll was not presented with the clothes, but yet they were the actual boy Gene's clothing when he was a child. So these are like real clothes, like a little boy sailor outfit put on this.
I was gonna ask where she got that outfit from.
Yeah, no. So it was Robert's own clothes. It was Robert Gene's clothes. So why don't we get into some of the legends of our sweet baby boy Robert?
Is this where where he got the reputation as haunted and not as hero, American hero?
Yes, this is where the haunting. Don't get the H words mixed up.
Okay.
The haunted, not the hero.
We'll see.
So when Gene was a young kid, things would just get thrown across the room, just like straight Aaron Rodgers 4-yard slant, just rocketed across the room and shatter, bowls, things like that. And the mom would just be like, Gene, what are you doing? It wasn't me. It was Robert.
Classic.
And he just did this nonstop. Things would break, get tossed across the room. Oh, that was Robert. That wasn't me. That was Gene. No, it was not Gene. That was Robert. But so the more odd things started to come when Gene got older. So in Gene's adult life, he moved back to his childhood home, as we're saying, which was called the artist's house because Gene was an artist and thought he had to name his house.
Sounds pretty cocky to me.
Yes, the artist's house. And
I call this the Big Mac Daddy studio apartment because all I do is eat Big Macs up in here.
Is that what all those boxes are behind you?
Uh-huh. Oh. Well, that's art.
I thought it was.
I stacked them. That's art.
That is art.
But I don't call it the art house. I call it the Big Mac Daddy studio apartment.
It looks good.
Yeah. See,
just up in the value. Of
I'm
this
not
place.
cocky.
Yeah. So Robert the doll had to live up in the attic where there were a lot of windows up there, and the local kids on their way back from school would stand outside because they would, the legends be like, oh, there's a haunted doll up there. Like the kids would sit out there and watch, and they would say that they would see the doll move on its own. It would go get up perched on the window by itself, and then next thing they know it would be gone.
Ugh.
And they said that its limbs would move, its head would move.
Oh.
And so the kids would line up after school every day.
I would so be one of those kids outside of that house.
Yeah.
I'd be waiting. I'd be like, Robert.
Yeah.
I'd be like Michael Jackson when he dangled the baby over the balcony. I'd be like,
you talking about his son?
I'd be like, Michael.
That wasn't just a baby. That was his kid.
Well, he's a baby. baby son.
It was a baby. So, after things, as the years went on and Robert lived up in the attic, Jean decided it was time to make it a little more homely up there. And
homely,
like more like a
homely
home.
Means you're ugly.
Yeah, no, that was not the right word. What I'm trying to say is he decided to build a bed, a kitchen, a table, chairs that fit the 3-foot body frame.
You got the feng shui up there for Robert.
Yeah, he decided to make it a little more livable for the little guy.
So he stopped throwing shit.
Well,
he's like, you're not going to throw shit if it's your fucking house, huh?
Yeah.
Throw your furniture up here, bitch.
You would think that would help, but Anne said that when Jean was upstairs building all this furniture, that she would overhear him begging to Robert not to hurt him or Anne. So she never said she heard Robert threatening, but she just said she would hear Jean.
She heard Jean being like,
please don't hurt me. Yeah. And
I mean, you gotta. That's really disturbing. But I'm picturing like a little like doll just being like, he's made out of hay, dude. Kick him.
Hey,
just kick him.
Maybe.
I mean, maybe he's got a weapon.
He got them demons in him.
Yeah, demons in him. He got demons in him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, who knows what kind of strength he's got? He's got demon strength.
Yes. And so,
can we clarify what maybe demon? Does he have a Haitian spirit? Like, do you think that this lady, his caretaker, she obviously loved Jean, but she wanted him to have something? But do you think it was it sounds like
I have two theories.
Sounds like a malevolent spirit, like a bad spirit.
I have two theories.
Uh-huh.
My first theory is that her late child that was taken away from her was put into the body.
Whoa.
Through the voodoo.
Whoa.
And so this child's soul was put into this doll, and that's why he's so angry, is that it's like, he has to watch this guy grow up, but yet his life was taken away from him by his parents.
So maybe she had good intentions, be like, you get to play with my son, and the son's like, I fucking hate your family, dude.
Yeah. So there's that, or
hope you didn't like this mug. Smash it against the wall.
What are those things called that are like the priceless eggs that people had?
They're called I almost called them fiberglass. Why can't I think of the name? Fabergé eggs.
Fabergé egg, yeah.
Fabergé.
Just smashing those just left and right.
Happy Easter,
fucker. So I think there's either that, or maybe there's some sort of curse that Jean was given. That's like, this doll is half of your soul, kind of thing.
Half of Jean's soul.
Yes, and that's why the doll is named Robert, and he's Jean.
Okay, so
he kind of took his name.
Does that explain why he's bad? Like, maybe this is his evil side?
Yeah. Or he's cursed with this, like, his own personal demon that's like so much a part of him that's taken his own name. Those were kind of my two ideas. I didn't see too much like theories diving into like what exactly it was, aside from the fact that it was the black magic voodoo stuff.
Yeah.
So people who visited the home would often they would say that they would hear footsteps running around up in the attic.
Oh, that's kind of cute.
Yeah, a little pitter patter, and
that's not really disturbing though.
There wasn't laughter, but there was giggles. So people would hear giggles.
No, giggles are the scariest kind of laughter.
Yes,
like high, like little singing, like la 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 la, and like
yeah,
and then what was that?
Yeah. Little kids are creepy for some reason. It's the innocence of like the youth. It makes it 10 times creepier.
That's what's making me think that it's more and more of like this child that she lost.
Yeah,
because it's giggling. It's
no one's scared of like the ghost of like a 43-year-old guy named Larry. It's about the little kids.
It's all never about Larry,
or like the really old people.
Who? What?
I'm just saying there's like an age gap of what's creepy. It's very old people, and it's like very young people. There's no middle-aged scary entities.
Yeah, you got to be like an old gaunt white guy with sunken in eyes, or like a child in a dress standing in a Stanley Kubrick hallway in The Shining.
Exactly.
It's like you have to have a top hat or like high stockings and a little dress.
Yeah.
Those are the two options you get.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So I have both, and I wear them all the time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's good for your figure. It shows off all your curves.
I'm watermelon shaped.
So, in 1974, our boy Gene passed away.
Oh, no.
Yes. And so...
They didn't bury him with them.
That's what they should have done.
Yeah.
But, so when Gene was found, can you guess where he was?
He was in the attic cradling the doll.
That's very close.
Okay. Where was
he? He was in the attic.
Oh.
And Robert the doll was on his chest with his hands around his throat.
Shut the fuck up. No. Wait. How old was he when he died?
I didn't find his birth date.
Dude got strangled by a doll.
I think he was pretty frail.
Okay.
I think he was born probably he had to have been in his 80s.
Okay. So he died old. There's what?
Yeah. He got choked out by a doll.
Oh, Robert. He pretended like he was his friend for 80 years and then give him the old 10-fingered goodbye.
Yeah. 10-figure discount,
which was
of your
probably not a 5-star experience, if I may say so myself.
Probably a low 1-star review on that choking.
Man,
it probably took a way longer with those little hands.
So that's where the haunting comes into play. Stuff like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he did some creepy stuff here and there. He was never necessarily that violent, I guess,
except for the murdering someone.
Yeah. And so after Gene passed away, someone by the name of Myrtle Reuter, I believe that's how you spell it, Reuter.
That sounds like a handsome woman.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because Myrtle, I feel like, is a male's name.
Oh, okay. You could have fooled me.
But maybe it's not. I thought it was.
Let's picture something a little in between.
Very homely.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Now I got it going.
You got the word.
So Myrtle bought the house from Anne. And there was only
Anne, his wife.
Yeah.
Okay.
His surviving wife, and so Myrtle became the new daddy to little Robert, and
they left the doll there. That's not how moving in works as places.
Well, that was the one condition with buying the house, that the doll had to stay in the house.
What?
And had to stay in the attic. It's basically like, yeah, we'll give you the house real nice and cheap, but the doll's got to stay up in the attic.
Oh no!
For everybody's sake, just padlock that attic.
God damn.
And so Robert had to remain in the attic. And so when Myrtle would have guests, they would say they could hear the footsteps, they could hear the giggling, and everything like that. And
God damn. So that's like two separate groups of people all together hearing the same thing.
Yeah. And there's really no connection between them except for the fact that they're both in the same house. And so the guest who saw the doll, because if you're gonna have that doll in your attic, someone's gonna be like, let me see that fucking doll.
Oh, of course.
Let me see that doll.
That's the thing. Do you have to keep it in the attic? Is that part of the rules, or can you put it in a glass case? That's what they kind of did with Annabelle, I believe. They put her in a glass case with a lock on it.
Yeah.
So you can see it all the time, and it's locked. So I mean, it's not getting out.
It was requested. I think Anne requested it. So then Robert would be happy.
Oh, because that's where his little house was.
Yeah. And so guest who saw the doll, you go up there and see this doll, it'd be creepy as shit, and you'd just be like, why the fuck did this guy have this stupid ass doll? Mm-hmm. And they said if they talked shit on Otto, on Gene Otto, that the doll's facial expression would change and be angry looking.
Okay, he doesn't get to fucking do that shit. He strangled the dude. Okay, you don't get to be mad when somebody talks shit on the guy you killed.
Maybe
it's kind of like, no, he's my friend. I can call him a bitch, but you can't call him a bitch.
But
that's not how that works.
Me personally, if someone was like, "Oh, don't talk shit about the guy," because the doll will get mad, I'm not gonna be like, well, I gotta see that. Yo, fuck this guy. Let me see this doll.
You would or wouldn't?
I would not.
I know I wouldn't.
I'd be like, yeah, no, I'm gonna go back home. We can do dinner at my place.
All I'm saying is fuck Robert. He's a little two-faced bitch, and I don't like that. He's like, oh, I'm mad you're talking bad about him. Oh, shit, I'm doing the thing.
You're going to regret that.
Well, I'm not talking bad on Otto. I'm talking bad on Robert.
Yeah, you're going to regret that even more.
I used to think he was handsome and a hero, and now he's just strangling people who trusted him.
So, Myrtle lived with the doll for about 20 years.
Damn.
Until one day...
Myrtle.
Until one day, Myrtle and their spouse...
We don't know what it was.
Yeah, so the Rooters... One night, the Rooters found Robert in their bedroom holding a kitchen knife. And that's when they were like, nope.
What?
Time to get rid of this doll.
What?
Yeah, so the one night, they just found the doll in their room. Who knows how it got out of the attic.
It was holding it?
It was holding the kitchen knife. So this doll had to leave the attic, had to go down to the kitchen. I don't know what the layout is, but I'm just imagining.
Big house.
They'd go down to the kitchen, grab a kitchen knife, go back upstairs into the bedroom.
Did she talk shit on Otto or Robert?
Oh, I'm sure they did.
Oh, man. That's what I don't get. It like 20 years, like, we're cool now, and then all of a sudden he pulls some shiesty-ass stuff going on, you know?
Yeah. And so at this point, they're like, you know what,
strangle
fuck this
him like
shit.
A man, you know?
They're like, yeah, you can kick us out of this house if you want, but, like, we're not playing with this. So the Rooters finally decided to donate the doll to a museum in the area as, like, a local kind of thing. So the museum was the Fort East Martello Museum in Key West, where that's where Robert remains till this day.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So the guy that owns him owns the museum, or is a curator?
They donated it to them.
I get that, but you said that the owner is a guy right now, and I just assumed
Corey. I think it's a girl.
Oh, a girl.
Yeah.
I just assumed that they had it in their personal collection. So that person runs the museum or owns the museum?
Yeah, I think they own the museum.
Oh, okay. So we could go see it.
Oh, yeah. No, we can.
Y'all punch a hole right through there.
Hold on.
What?
Well, you need to, like, simmer down because you're going to, like, regret everything you're saying.
Oh, come at me, Robert.
Oh, God.
I got a strong neck.
God damn it.
Sorry.
I'm not a part of this. So Robert was placed in a glass box for viewers to come and look at. And things seemed normal for, a while. Mm-hmm. Until one day, the workers arrived to work to find the whole museum appeared to be ransacked, and they found Robert covered in dust and dirt, and he was in a different position from before.
Uh-oh.
Yes. So every single day, the museum receives letters on letters for Robert. So I actually copied one of the letters, and it said, "Dear Robert, I am so sorry that I upset you by taking your picture when we were in the Key West earlier this month. I was foolish. I had heard the stories. Since I asked you before I took your picture, I thought we were buddies. Apparently, I was wrong. The next morning, I woke up with 2 puncture wounds in my arm, like teeth marks. Then I had to drive home in a tropical storm. Since I got home, my roof sprung a leak, and all my financial investments have taken a nosedive." The letter just kind of keeps going on and on about terrible things happening. So endless letters come in the mail talking about people writing things to Robert saying, asking for forgiveness after losing their jobs, their marriages collapse, their houses go under, all this stuff. And it has to do with not asking for permission to
consent.
To take photos of Robert because, people think, oh, it's so funny, haunted doll. Oh, look at the picture of this stupid haunted doll. And then he's just like, oh, I'm going to fuck your shit up. And so it's a thing. And they have a poster at the museum being like, please ask Robert before taking a photo of him or talking about him or saying anything bad about him, because every day they get multiple people saying in letters being like, I'm sorry I took your photo, I crashed my car, I broke my arm, my dog died, stuff like that, because they took a photo of the doll. And so people have been mailing stuff in, asking for forgiveness, sending in candy. Someone started a rumor that he likes candy because he's a little doll guy.
Oh boy.
And some people actually send joints, a marijuana cigarettes.
Because he's Haitian and Haitian people like weed?
I think just to be sorry, bro. Just like chill, dog.
Oh yeah, he's not chill.
No, he's not gonna. He's not gonna spark that butt up.
That's the thing. You can't really. There's no being buds with that guy. He seems like a nightmare.
Yeah, and so I had never heard this story before until I found it, and it turns out that this is what Chucky is based off of.
Oh,
the old horror franchise of the killer doll.
Growing up.
And so, like, it's loosely based off that, just the idea of, like, a doll that kills people. And I think that probably has something to do with the kitchen knife kind of thing. And
yeah, I bet.
Yeah, and so before we go any further, I wanted to say this. I think this is very important for not only myself, but to Alex to say, and you, the listeners, to say out loud after listening to this. And I would like to say... I'm very sorry, Robert. Please forgive me. Please forgive Tobin. And please forgive the listeners for us talking about you. We do not mean to cause any offense. And please do not harm us in any way or any of our loved ones. And I hope you accept our apology.
Can I say something to Robert? Robert,
Oh, no.
I just want to say, fuck you, Robert. I am not scared of you. I am stronger than a Fabergé egg. You cannot throw me. I am stronger than an 80-year-old man you can strangle. And I don't even have big enough knives in this house. I cut everything with a butter knife. So I dare you to try to come at me.
And I'm also going to follow it up with, please send...
Ow! I'm joking.
Please send any audition tapes for podcasts if you'd like to join me for next week, because I'm looking for a new host.
Yeah, I might be dead next week.
I don't think Tobin's going to be there for me next week.
I don't blame my stuff on dolls when stuff goes bad in my life. I blame it on astrology, like every other Californian.
Like a real man.
The Mercury is in retrograde. You don't understand it.
Don't forget about the chemicals in the water.
I don't know about Mercury in retrograde, but I hear people say it all the time when something bad happens to him. So, I mean, could be Robert, could be Mercury.
I still think you should apologize to Robert real quick.
Fine, I'll do it to make you at ease.
Say it like you mean it.
I'm sorry.
Say it like you mean it.
Robert, I'm sorry I tried to start stuff with you, but I also didn't take your picture, so you can't be that mad at me.
Oh, no, he gets mad if you even, like, joke about him. We did a lot of that.
Well, then, I think I'm irredeemable at this point.
I swear to God, if my dog... Something bad happens to my dog, Tobin.
It's me. It's coming after.
Yeah, I know, but I still feel like it'd be like... He seems like the kind of guy that's going to be like, oh, well, if I want to hurt him, I'm going to fuck with his friend.
I think he has a jurisdiction. I think you have to be in Florida and make fun of him. How is he going to hear this?
I don't know. He's got ears all over.
There's tons of people named Robert. Do you think somebody talks shit about their coworker named Robert, and then he's just like, they talking about me?
Oh, no, he knows when people are talking about him.
Well, we will see.
So again, we are very sorry, Robert. Please don't hurt us.
Wow. I mean, that was Robert. Sounds pretty spooky.
It's good old little Robbie.
Not too spooky. I mean, I ain't scared of no ghost, I'll say that. I ain't scared of no doll. But I think that concludes the episode for today. Yep. That was episode 3. We had a good time. We hope you like our caves and dolls and everything in between. And
maybe next week we'll go spelunking with a haunted doll.
Yeah,
we got off eBay.
Here's the thing: I'm not going spelunking anytime soon, especially after talking shit to Robert, because we know how that's going to end if I.
Yeah, it's going to be a 3 and done.
Yeah, what's a 3 and done?
3 episodes and we're done.
Yeah, 3 and done. So just remember that you could, follow us on Instagram at Camp Strange Podcast, Twitter Camp Strange, Facebook Camp Strange, and also campstrange.com to get all the hyperlinks. Also, Low Upside Podcast Network. You go to lowupside.com and check out some great articles written by some really funny and interesting people and knowledgeable people.
Really smart guys.
Yeah, so you go check out that stuff. They're really great.
With that being said, we don't write any of the articles.
No, I think I have one on there, actually, so go check that out. 1 or 2.
Yeah, I kind of remember that. That was a while ago.
Yeah.
They haven't asked me to write anything surprising.
But, so go check that out. Rate, review, subscribe. That would be amazing. We'd really appreciate it. Hopefully, next week, we're going to plan on releasing 2 episodes, actually. One's going to be normal, just me and David talking about a story. And then we're also going to be releasing what was it? What did I call it again? Stories from the camp. Oh man, I can't remember off the top of my head now, but
we're gonna do something a little different, a little more fun, maybe.
It's basically we're gonna try to find some stories from you guys, and like personal ghost stories that you can send in at campstrange.com, and we will read them on here and talk about them. So
yeah, we're looking for some camper stories.
Please send them in, because I think that it would be really fun to have some personal ghost stories. It's always way more fun when you get something that is a little bit more personal and you have the specific details because you were there. So
and you won't be hearing a story that you've heard before.
Yeah,
which, we understand. Sometimes we might cover a topic you've already heard on another podcast. We hope that our take is original, something different. Because, you can hear the same story 100 times, but if someone's different, it makes it a little more interesting. So we want to get some really fresh and original stuff that other people might not know, something that happened to you or something that's known in your community.
Mm-hmm. So send them in, and we would be happy to read them and discuss them. And we might have a guest on, too. So we'll see.
Yeah, let's get another set of buns around this campfire.
Buns. You don't... Okay.
It's graham crackers.
That's not buns. But thank you guys all for tuning in, and we will see you next week. And don't forget to stay strange.